You have received over $1 million in funds from coal and oil interests. The last grant you received from a funder with no ties to the energy industry was in 2002. That's over a decade ago.
Okay.
So, Dr. Soon, why should we trust someone without credentials in climate science whose work is only funded by coal and oil?
Without credential? Who is there to judge?
In climate science. I understand you're an astrophysicist.
Just a minute. Without credential in climate science, so what is climate science? Do you know anything about climate science?
The question I'm asking you...
No, I'm asking you to answer that question first. First of all, do you know that approach is called ad hominem? Well, you have any problem with the data sets that I just showed you? I'm very used to that question, by the way. It's a very unfortunate that you choose to ask questions like this, but it's okay to ask. Please don't... Okay? Please look into the mirror yourself first, and then try to understand this issue more rationally, rather than try to put this upon me. I refuse to answer those questions because it's silly. And if you really want to know about the details, the way it works in terms of my funding is very simple. Okay? Please learn something before you say something so strong that you think you will get away. I'm fed up with this kind of approach because it has nothing to do with the evidence that I just told you. I wish you would ask questions on that. Maybe you say that you don't learn enough to do that. Maybe you should learn more because you are a smart person. You may be able to know more about that issue than me. On receiving funding, I have received funding from federal government, but I stopped receiving. I have no penny of money from the government since 2004 or so. And I've been receiving money from whoever that wants to give me money. I write my scientific proposal. I have received money from Exxon, but Exxon no longer give me any money for a long time. American Petroleum Institute. Anything you wish for, from Southern Company, from all these companies. I write proposal, I let them judge whether they will fund me or not. Always for a very small amount. If they choose to fund me, I'm happy to receive it. The only condition, as I always tell anybody, is same thing. I would never be motivated by money for anything. And to put it even more simply, if you really be so kind to listen, is that if Al Gore want to fund me, if Greenpeace want to fund me, I'll be happy to take their money. Unless their money is not so dirty, by the way. If it's from stealing people's money, I will not take it because it's not principled. Okay? I'm a very principled man. I have never cheated for a single day. I've done my best to explain science as far as I know. And please don't say that I don't know anything about climate science because you yourself could not tell me what a climate science is. I have studied climate as much as I can. I don't like to claim that I'm an expert on anything, but I have enough knowledge about the climate science and climate system to be able to write scientific papers and go to meetings and talk about monsoon system, about any other things that you want to discuss about climate science issue. I'm as qualified as anybody that you know on this planet about this topic. And I've studied enough of the issue. So I don't think it's a very fair question, and I do not want to take any more questions from this kind, unless you have a science question.
It's not directly related to science, but Dr. Soon, in 2003, you emailed lobbyists at ExxonMobil to create a plan to undermine a report by the IPCC, which earlier you mentioned was the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. This was before the report was even released. Do you still directly collaborate with ExxonMobil to discredit global warming science?
He already gave you an answer to that. There was never any collaboration. He's not getting any money from them.
That is not true. He is getting money from the ExxonMobil Foundation. He said a few minutes ago that he has not gotten funding from them in a long time, and I quote, and it wasn't very much. But in 2008...
First of all, what is the purpose?
Let me finish my question, please, sir.
Is this supposed to embarrass me?
No, that's not... I'm honestly trying to have you answer these questions that you're not answering.
No, of course I won't answer because you know what? You are being rude and you're being wrong. I just explained to you my motivation in science.
Okay? I understand your motivation.
Okay, and I ask you to be so kind to look into the mirror for yourself. Please, the question could be answered by yourself. You will have a bit of intelligence. I was trying to conspire to try to bring down IPCC, right? Yes?
Yes.
Is that what it is? Is that what you're trying to imply? So be it. Let it be known that I do not like IPCC. Because IPCC doesn't stand for science, it's corrupting science. Period.
Well, how do you explain that over the past 10 years, you haven't gotten any funding from anything except for coal and oil industry.
Why does it matter?
What does that matter? First of all, why does that matter?
He's presenting an argument that
First
you
of all,
disagree with.
I should thank her, because you know why? I really want to thank her because she's receiving the electricity use for her house. She's driving cars. She's doing all of these things because you are funding me. It's not the oil and coal company. They are a company that provide a service to humanity, to people who want to use electricity and want to drive their car. You please, if you don't drive your car, if you don't use electricity, if you don't fly airplane, if you stop wearing all those nylon clothes and all these things that made from petroleum products, if you stop actually using even shampoo, if you stop all of this, then you will have the qualification to speak on this issue. Because it's extremely rude to try to insult people by using this sort of technique. Because you know why? Ultimately, you know, okay? You are the one that being childish here, that you try to imply that this has something to do with a person trying to be corrupted. I have not taken money.
I've never used the word corrupted.
You just simply mean that people should not be taking money to support their family and make a living or even buy some spaghetti to eat once in a while. Terrible of you to actually even think and insinuate such a bad situation. I wish you luck. And I please again, if you want to have more confrontation, that would not be very useful, because this is not a very good thing that you are doing. I wish you luck, because you neither embarrass me nor anything. I only hope that you are a little bit embarrassed by asking this question.
I would hope that you're a little embarrassed. I see somebody attacking a messenger here. You know, I watched you with some pretty, I'd say they're pretty childish, the gorilla and all that stuff. And basically what I'm taking away is I think you have a weak argument coming back with the sun and stuff like that. And then you even discredit that. But the takeaway is you admit that CO2 is going up in the atmosphere and the temperatures are increasing. I mean, I can watch the temperature rise. So why? Don't we attempt to do something to live with temperature change? Is it, you said, well, so what? It takes less to cool than to heat. So we ought to just live with this? Because it's simpler than just our creature comforts of sitting in a house.
I would not really want to make too many of these public policy recommendations. I've only tried to tell you what I know. Mm-hmm. Right? And sure, you can interpret the data as you like. I have not suggested any other things, and I don't know whether that you even understand the viewpoint, because you think that I'm trying to suggest that this. I don't understand a lot of the things you say, by the way. Please.
I just was going to say that what I heard you say was that the temperature was going up. So with the hockey stick, you noted that at the end, the temperature didn't continue to go up, even though the carbon dioxide did go up. So,
but they say that the temperature is still going up. That's what they're saying.
Right.
So it's okay if they want to say that. Yes.
That isn't what you said, or that isn't the point of your materials here tonight.
Right. Well, maybe we should call it a stop, and I wish every one of you a good night. Thank you.
Thank you very much.